Welcome to the Witch Trials. I am your witch, Ayrton, like air, and 10. That is my name. Welcome to our gaming channel where we gain great inspiration from the 1692 Witch Trials of Massachusetts. And honestly, when you're talking about an industry such as the gaming industry where things just work, like Fallout 76 worked, or CEOs from like Activision Blizzard or EA are paid $30 million plus and the companies furlough or fire 700 plus people. It's really not a far cry from a time where judges sentenced people to die for being witches. But honestly, this is also another excuse for me to dress up in something really stupid and stand in front of a green screen and talk about video games. So let's go ahead and jump in to our Desperados 3 review.
Desperados 3, a hardcore stealth tactical game set in the Wild Wild West. So you start off here as Cooper, a young boy following his father through a bandit camp or a villain camp of some sort through a minor tutorial. So this is basically the first mission you start off in. Doesn't have a whole lot of significance to the story, at least at the beginning of it. So what the tutorial does for you is pretty much showing you exactly how the entire game works. The mechanics through the enemies, letting you know that you should quick save and quick save often, because the point of this game is that you are going to make mistakes. You're going to get caught in those mistakes. And if you don't quick save, you're going to fly all the way back to the very beginning and hate yourself for it. Although there are achievements throughout missions for completing an entire mission without a quick save. But the tutorial does a pretty good job of kind of trying to explain to you exactly what you need to do, whether it's the left or right mouse button, holding shift, all the kind of things you can do, climbing ladders, what objects throughout the map are usable, and so on. So tutorial, they did a pretty good job on that. I can't complain too much about that. Now, when it comes to cutscenes, I absolutely am a huge fan. Their cutscenes are still in this tactical view, but they're very nice. The sound quality is good. The story feels real, and with this guy getting killed, it definitely feels pretty realistic. You got the grunts, the moans, and the blood as they kill him. So they did a pretty good job on all of the cutscenes. Now, one thing I can tell you about the cutscenes is they're not extremely graphical. They're not extremely in-depth. They pretty much look like they're in the game engine. There's no out-of-engine cutscenes where you're just like, wow, this is a movie. So I do like that about it. Now here, we are in some gameplay where it's letting us use our knife to go up and stab a guy, kill him, which feels pretty darn satisfying. We're now going to hide the body, kind of Assassin's Creed-like, so we don't alert anyone. You get a couple of options, different ways of killing enemies here with Cooper. Now this is the first mission where Cooper is no longer a boy, and throughout this first few missions they do still give you the little advisors, or just kind of telling you how things work. So not only can you run up behind somebody and stab them, you can also chuck your knife at them. Now what I like about this is it's not only can you just chuck your knife at them, but you have to be tactical about it. You don't just get 9 knives like throwing knives. You have to go back and get your knife. Now if you don't, and there's that fast save thing coming again, where basically it's telling me, oh my gosh, fast save. And like right here, I don't have my knife, so now I have to beat him up, and I got to beat up his other buddy, and I really should have died. But it turns out to work pretty well, and I'm a big fan of this feature as well. So when you beat somebody up, you don't necessarily kill them right away. You knock them out. While they're knocked out, you can tie them up and pretty much do whatever you want to them. You can come back and kill them later, or you can just hide them for later on. So I run back up here, grab my knife, and we continue through this mission. And I like how it kind of walks you through some certain things. And the map is just, you can traverse the map in several different ways. Another thing that's really cool with the guns here is you can get all Wild Wild West and shoot multiple people at one time. So this is the dual shot mode and shadow mode as well. So shadow mode works where basically you get to pick a few different actions to execute at the exact same time. So I use one of my guns and I'm going to quick fire and kill both of these guys and save our next friend. Now this is actually where I got really surprised. McCoy, who you save in what I guess is technically the second mission, is not just someone you save. He is a playable character, which was really interesting to me as something that I was not expecting going into the game. Now going into the game, this adds a lot into it. It adds a lot into not only the tactical part, but into the part where it's like, okay, so there's a lot more going on than it's just me as McCoy or Cooper running around. Now this will show you how important quick saves are, because I die over and over again and it is extremely frustrating. Now so far I haven't seen any huge glitches or anything I wasn't a huge fan of. Most of it's just me not being tactical and kind of me being stupid. Like right here, getting a little too antsy, running up. Now I'm just trying to hide. The guard's not completely retarded. He eventually finds me, shoots me 3 quick times, and I'm a goner, which sucks. So quick save and quick save often. Now this is a game where you have to traverse the map in several different ways, and each character does have limitations. So McCoy cannot climb. He's too old. He complains about it, and you have to come over and let the ramp down so he can come up. Now what I like about this aspect is that it makes you actually think about your strategy and what way characters are going to move throughout several different missions. There's places where every character that is playable can't go because there's something that's holding them back. Now that brings me to a few other things in the tactics of it, with how you have to use both characters to help you either sneak by or eliminate areas. Now this is an area that you can fight, or you can do what McCoy wants to do and just leave all of the train passengers, and to hell with them. We're going to move on. We have bigger and better things to worry about. So you can go ahead and get out of these guys' line of sight. Another quick save so I don't die in 5 seconds. You get out of their line of sight, traverse across the top of the train, and move on your merry way and completely forget about them. Once you get far enough across the map, you don't have to worry about them anymore. They can't see you, you can't see them. They don't hear anything else that's going on along the way, which is cool. So you can kind of skip parts if you don't think you're going to be able to beat them. And there's definitely, throughout several other missions in this game, parts that you're going to want to try and skip, come back, and just later on in the mission as you're going through it, because you can get stuck in places that are just a huge pain. So another part that's important here, and you can see a little bell icon over here on the train. Now that is a station, a guard station. So if you look on top of that and you hovered over it, it'll tell you how many guards are in that place. Now this is one of McCoy's abilities. So he throws a medicine bag. This guy comes up and is like, what the hell's in this medicine bag? Opens that medicine bag, and it is toxic. Now this is where I end up chucking a knife at him. He's now dead, so using both of them, but oops, they sounded the alarm. So this is another part that's really important. Once the alarm is sounded, you can hide until that alarm goes out, but basically it's like let the dogs out, and out come an abundance of guards from all of the train stations basically. So any of the guard docks, they're let loose. Your best thing is to hide unless you're going to start picking them off, which at distance, if you do kind of hide everybody in a corner and you use like McCoy's sniper, you can shoot 5 or 6 of them and pretty much knock out a whole pack without having to really do all that much work. Now this is another part where you really do have to work as a team, and that's a big part of this game, is kind of traversing the map using different players, different, McCoy can do this, Cooper can do this, and that is a huge aspect that I like about the game. So we're coming across here, and I'm trying to find out exactly how I kill these 2 guys, and I've tried 5 or 6 times, and every time I've died. So now I've figured out nobody can see me from here. So McCoy, you're going to take one of these guys and stab them with your little syringe thingy-majig, which is his basically knife, and then Cooper's going to go over and grab the other guy. Now you do want to time these things right, because if one gets killed 5 seconds before, the other guy will turn around and start shooting off a revolver at you. Now, I'm a big fan of that the map changes drastically. You don't just hang out on a train the entire way down. You move from train carriage to train carriage, up a side of a mountain to the front of the train, into a tunnel, and traversing this map that just looks really nice. You're in a forest going up this little mountain, enemies all over the place. You have prisoners, and it's just not a boring map. It's not a map that looks like it's dead. It's alive. Things are definitely going on. This train is definitely being looted. They're trying to get something out of it, and you're trying to make sure that doesn't happen. Or if you play the game, you'll see exactly how the storyline plays out. Now, I don't have too many complaints. If you're not a stealth strategy player, this is probably not the game for you. Now, I'm a huge strategy fan. I love StarCraft. Now, that's a totally different game, but this is a fun game. I've enjoyed it for the most part. There's a few little things that kind of annoy me. I wish I could turn off some of the features like the quick save, tell me every 5 seconds. I believe it's actually after a minute the quick save button will come up. I wish it was a little bit easier for certain things, like when you start shooting people, you're out of ammo. I die here in just a couple of seconds because, well, I shoot and then I go to shoot again, but okay, there's like a 15-second reload, and I'm like, oh, I can just shoot again. No, I can't. And I'm dead. And there we go, we restart. And this is why you quick save every 5 seconds. Here's another part where you're coming in and you got to be tactical, using both of my characters to pick one off at a time, and you can do it in several different ways. This is where I'm like, oh, you know what, I'm better off using Cooper to throw a knife at this guy and McCoy to come stab this guy, and just how it works out. So strategy is huge. The nice part about it is you can be really stealthy, not be seen in the open, and it gives you an opportunity to change what you're doing or what exactly you're thinking. You could go into a fight thinking this and then end up thinking, you know, almost right at the beginning of the fight, oh no, this is better, let me do that, switch it, you win the fight. So across the map as well, there's also several things you can interact with, whether that's a rock you can drop on people, ammo in crates, or dynamite here at the end. And this mission's big on the dynamite. The whole point is that you want to fight your way to the end of the map, get the dynamite so you can blow up the rocks, so you can get the train moving back to its destination. I have greatly enjoyed this game. For the most part, this is more of an impressions video than an in-depth review video, but we did want to put out our first Witch Trials video. And speaking of that dynamite, I almost died from it because I was stupid and held it too long. But here's another part of the game that I like, the badges. This is things that you accomplish throughout the mission or things that you could accomplish. So you have don't save during the entire mission, which I would never be able to do. Speed run through it in 5.5 minutes. Another thing that would be extremely difficult. Then finishing it on a certain difficulty. Distracting bandits, killing X amount with firearms or dynamite. So this is pretty cool. It makes a whole lot of replayability. I also thought this was pretty cool. This is basically a replay of everything that happened from start to finish. So it's showing you what you did, how you did it, who you killed, what you used, and it can just kind of show you if you are trying to do that speed run. You know, you could look at somebody else's YouTube video. This is how I did it, and then okay, heck, let me try that. So I have greatly enjoyed this game. If you are into strategy games, this is a game you should definitely check out. It is in depth. The story is good. And it's not a full-fledged $60. It comes in at $49.99 on Steam. I actually got it for $45 because Steam gave me that $5 hand-me-down for the summer sale. So for $45, I definitely can't complain. At $60, I would feel like it's a little overpriced, honestly, but with it coming in at $49.99, that is a fairly good price for this. I'd like to see it a little cheaper. If it was $45 all the time, that would be sweet. But I'm definitely happy that I played this game. The story is good. Just a little cutscene here at the end in a bar, the Wild West scene. You just killed some people, had a fight. Now you're going out, basically getting ready to duel. So let's go ahead and wrap this thing up.
Desperados 3 does a really good job of bringing a real-time stealth strategy game to all of us. Set in the Wild Wild West, this thing really immerses you in the story, and you actually feel attachment to each of the characters you're playing with as you go through the missions. It's really breathtaking and a breath of fresh air that every map throughout the entire game on the missions feels unique. Feels like you're, scaling the side of a real train on the side of a mountain in the first mission, or fighting your way through a wild western town. Now, how THQ Nordic deals with this going down, if they can keep longevity throughout the game for several years, if they keep bringing patches when needed, time can only tell. THQ Nordic does not have the best reputation on the planet, but I have high hopes. The game is very well done. I enjoy it. You have a whole lot of strategy options. You have different weapons. You have different player types. You have players or characters that can only go certain places. And throughout the game, you actually feel attached to them and the story. So it makes for a really nice combination. And believe it or not, the thing isn't $60. It's $49.99. Now, I'd love to see it cheaper, but it is fairly well priced. And I got it a little bit cheaper thanks to the Steam sale. They like to throw poor people like myself money sometimes. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Now, if you did, please like, share, and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. What you thought about the gimmick and the green screen. If you hated it, too bad. We'll be back in front of it for the next Witch Trials review. Thanks for watching.